Afternoon, one and all. This is Tom. Obviously. Salem's missing. He's the cat that Jan took in for adoption, but he was already spayed, so he's been a year and a half. I've had spayed cats who go chasing off for the smell and the excitement of the other cats around and that sort of thing. They'll be gone for about 3 days. It's his second day now, and he's never done it before after a year and a half, so it wasn't in his blood, so I'm kind of worried about him. I'm down about a lot of other things. Just down. However, I did fix my other laptop last night. Turns out what my mind doesn't still work. I'm still clever enough, quick enough, however you want to say it, to figure shit out. I've taken to dropping at least 2 of these a day, right in the middle of them. Not while I'm falling asleep, not while I'm doing something else, just like I'm holding it right now, watching TV, suddenly it's on my lap. That and falling down. 3 times in the past week. No new times since the day I talked about it, so I'm pretty impressed with that. Kind of plopped into stuff a little bit here and there. Kept myself from falling, but didn't fall. There's a big difference between having that warning and knowing, get a hold of something and, you can just keep going. As opposed to you're on the floor. No real clue how you got there. And as I think it was Smash Mouth said, tomorrow's gonna hurt. But for me that ain't nothing. I mean, that's just nothing. We went and toured, Jan and I went and toured the trailer park just down the road that's supposed to be so bad, and it looked like an awful nice trailer park. And you can tell some of those people had lived there for decades. From the lawn ornaments, the ornaments attached to the porch rails, it just, really kind of homey little place. So I went to call the owner, left a big message. And then Jan said, well, you need to call back and leave the phone number. And I said, well, he sounded like cell phone. So he'll have, the caller ID. She says, well, yeah, but what if he had a lot of callers, or what if that wasn't actually a cell phone? I said, well, you're right. I'll call and leave my phone number. And I called back, and he says, look, I'm in Chattanooga. My daughter's in the hospital. If this ain't a fucking emergency, don't call me. And hung up. I'm like, back when I was having arguments with the one who shall remain unnamed, and we were both still in high school, and I was watching my dad's photography shop, which made me think there might be pictures of him getting a blowjob from her on one of these 2 cameras, because she made comment to that. She also mentioned that she could tell the 2 twins apart, the judge and the judge, and it didn't click that she could tell them apart. But if so, the film's 30 years old. Won't be worth a shit, I'm sure. Anyway, where was I going with that? Oh, I fixed the old computer. Oh, having the argument with her. We're sitting there yelling. I mean, yelling. And I'm in the middle of yelling my response, like, you fucking... Hold on. This phone rang. Thank you for calling Industry Photography. This is Tom speaking. How may I help you this afternoon? And she just could not believe it. That, I'm just an entirely different person. Hey, it's a job. It's a profession. You act professional. I don't care what his daughter's in the hospital for. I've watched my uncle die of cancer, who got drafted into World War II as a jarhead, volunteered for Korea, volunteered for Vietnam, smoked, and then died of cancer at Fort Sanders while I was living in Fort Sanders. So it was like 3 blocks away, and I could only force myself to go see him once because he was this bigger than life guy, and now I couldn't do it. It's just like going and seeing both my grandmothers, who were so independent, who after their strokes, you could see they were miserable. I mean, that half their body was paralyzed. If my right half gets paralyzed, I'll never swallow again. I'm due a stroke. I mean, Miranda, refer to your homework. You may not remember that one. Getting ready to watch the end of Survivor. I don't know what I'm going to do. I might, since I repaired the other computer, take where I did the recovery on this computer. I've only tried to take 2 things off of it and put it on this computer, which it says, do not put in the place it came from. It will be degraded. So in other words, I've ruined 2 things. I don't know what they are. But the rest, I'm going to hook up wire to wire after I download my Norton security. You can download it on up to 3 devices. So I'll download my Norton on it and run a test. I ran the Microsoft test last night. And this is after getting the blue screen of death. 4 times after I had my friend repair it for $160 or $180, I got the blue screen of death. Then I waited and waited and waited, and then I said, okay, I'm going to plug it in. I'm going to hit F10, 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 run self-diagnostic, and it seems to be working again. And it told me that my last session was interrupted and it was going to restart it. I'm like, whatever that was, I didn't want back in it. But, of course, as for the pictures and things like that, can't do anything like that because it's all my imagination. Nobody's ever listened to me. Nobody ever will. And they all find out in the end that I was telling the truth, no matter what the subject is. There's no water in the pool. Yeah, there is. I'm going to go off the diving board. There's no water in the pool. Fact. Alright, that's an extreme example, but you get the idea. Oh well. As for my request to have people respond to at least one of my video sit reps, apparently nobody is watching them because nobody responded. Although there are people who tell me that they are very excited about them, and Gloria has responded to one of my video sit reps, so that actually surprised me that Gloria watched them. I was impressed. Maybe sometimes I do say things that are intriguing enough that people would be interesting. Mostly, I guess it's probably an insight into my mind and my whining and that sort of thing. But, excuse me. God, I need a drink. A real drink. 6 miles. Figured that out because it's 5 miles exactly from here to the People's Clinic. And it's less than a mile to the liquor store. So 6 miles tops each way. In the old days, I'd have been back in 2 hours with liquor, and I'll have stopped at one of the stores along the way and picked up beer. 12-pack of natural ice. High strength, low cost, not bad tasting. Nowadays, if I get to the end of the road, 1.2 miles, and I haven't fallen into the road yet, doing good. But then again, if I do fall into the road and somebody doesn't squish my head, maybe they'll give me a ride. You never know. And I was going to make a bet with people, and I had all sorts of other things on my mind, but then it dawned on me that they're all just pleas for help, so not happening. I don't want no help. I never get it anyway, so why ask for it? I'm down to, essentially, as far as I'm concerned, I've got a month to get moved, or at least find a place to start moving into by the beginning of August. If it hits August 1st and I'm not already starting to move in, I'm fucked. I will just at that point skip the rent, have Jan take a day, half a day before she goes to work, run all my stuff to the nearest rental place, and take off. I don't know where I'll go. I have a vague idea, but it'll be as far as my money can take me. Someplace I've never seen.